Parada, Puerto Mágico.
I don't know.
The Crystal Hotel is located to your right. It was the first modern hotel in the history of Vallarta. It opened its doors in 1964 under the name of Posada Vallarta. Among the many characteristics of the old Posada Vallarta, one stood out above the rest. The fact that it was built as an horizontal hotel meant that the hotel's rooftops did not go up to the heights of the palm tree, thus it blended perfectly with the landscape. Another important feature is that it serves as a school for many of the young people in the region. It was in this building where they learned the ropes in different touristic activities, such as gastronomy, languages, and gardening. We are crossing the Pitillal River's bridge. The river was named after the town El Pitillal, which means Pitillo's place, which is where one could easily find a well-known hotel here.
In the pink park. First schedule in the pink park. You are taking this schedule in the pink park. This bus is this first schedule, okay? So we're gonna
This is La Isla, or the Island Mall, a newly opening shopping center. Here you will find clothes, shoes, food, and more, all in an intimate and exclusive environment.
For a few minutes.
Parada, La Isla.
Here and here. In that case, if you want to hop off, you can take the next bus in 1 hour.
No, that's fine. We'll just stay on.
Okay.
That's good.
Just remember, you hop on at Puerto Mágico and you're gonna hop off again at Puerto Mágico, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So
Thank you.
If you want to
So we
spend
just
time,
go along there, stop at a couple of bits, we can stay on, and then it takes you back, and that's where you get back home.
as soon as we're
Okay.
gonna be there, I will tell
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Just one last big favor, like a security rule. For safety reasons, when the bus gonna be moving, don't stand up, please. We're gonna pass by parks with a lot of tree branches. Some of the traffic signals could be a little bit low, and some tables too, please.
Okay.
Okay? Just to
Thank
put the
you.
time at your seat. Whatever you want to ask, my name is Carlos.
Okay,
So we
thank
can't stand up with a bottle of tequila.
If you want
We are passing through the front of the North Hotel area, where there are several hotels established since the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Although, it is important to mention that some of them have been renovated and adapted to meet the needs.
If you want some kind of memory, touch one of the cables, he said. Right.
On your right side, Los Tules Hotel is found. It is a horizontal hotel where the buildings are lost between the palm trees. It has maintained its original facade since the 70s of the last century.
Yep. Yes.
your right, the Sheraton Bugambilia Hotel is located, which is one of the most iconic hotels in Puerto Vallarta. It was built at the beginning of the 1980s. It is possible to observe that the beautiful Bugambilia flowers are the main decor of both inside and outside of the hotel. That's the reason for its famous name.
To the flowers, the bloom.
We are crossing over the Los Camarones Bridge. It is in this place that the Francisco Medina Asensio Avenue ends, and in its start the Mexico Street. Also in this place, the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood starts. Its name refers to the foundation date of Puerto Vallarta's public land in 1929. The neighborhood starts to appear in 1940.
Senior frogs. We have
Just up ahead it is possible to find Hidalgo Park, a nostalgic place for all the people living in Vallarta. It opened its doors on May 8 of 1954. It is a public space in which the locals honor the memory of the father of the country, Don Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. It was built next to an old cemetery. As a matter of fact, this is the reason for one of Puerto Vallarta's most famous legends, the woman that appears in the Hidalgo Park. Continuing with the history of the famous park, according to the town's official narrator, Don Carlos Mundia Fregoso, the original statue of the father of the country was molded out of cement by the sculptor Esteban Ramírez Guareño. The park has been renovated twice, the first time in 1971 and the second one in 1986. The original statue has also been replaced by a bigger Cooper statue, made by the same sculptor. Finally, during 2004-2006 period, the park was essentially modified in order to build an underground parking lot. In the opposite corner of the park, we can admire the Rosita Hotel's traditional building. It is an icon that still resembles the beginnings of the hotel business in this port. The hotel opened to the public in 1948 as it is stated in one of its walls. Its construction represents the arrival of the fusionalist architecture in Puerto Vallarta. Parada, Parque Hidalgo.
You need to take photos, Jeanette, because I'm doing videos.
We are passing by Jesus La Garita Street, named after the first mayor of Puerto Vallarta in 1918. We begin our downtown journey in Morelos Street, which is the beginning of the first quadrant of the city, Puerto Vallarta's downtown. In every side street, approximately a block away, it is possible to see different sculpture in the pier. The pier is by all means the most visited and popular place in the city for both locals and tourists. It is a space where beautiful sunsets can be best enjoyed as one inhales the purity of the sea and its freedom. It is in this place that it seems possible to speak candidly to the horizon. The pier is also great for long walks, and it has a very famous gastronomic area and very vivid nightlife. Adding to this, it is also an open art gallery, filled with sculpture, photography, and cultural exhibitions. Right, you will find a monument commonly known as the Lighthouse. It was built in 1932. This, and its bear to the left, about 90 meters away from its one, boat used to provide range lights to guide ships to the port during a big part of the last century.
Yeah, I seen them.
Something behind us, look, it's a real person. I thought it was one of these.
Statues.
Aye.
Playing chess.
Yeah.
Todo el frente de la bahía. El caballito de Maracaibo.
Say no way.
Bien. Then we're going with you, señor. We're going with you. Okay? We have time for everyone.
He's literally selling
su izquierda encontrará el edificio sede del gobierno municipal. Fue inaugurado por el presidente de la República, José López Portillo, el día 10 de julio de 1981. Al estilo arquitectónico que luce se le conoce aquí como estilo Vallarta, caracterizado por el uso de materiales locales como el ladrillo de medio pliego y cerramiento de vanos en madera de parota. To your left, the City Hall is found. It was inaugurated by the President José López Portillo on July 10 of 1981. The architectural style is named Vallarta style, which involves the use of local materials like half-sheet brick and skylights made of parotas wood. A continuación cruzaremos el puente Solidaridad sobre el río Cuale. Este puente fue inaugurado el 10 de julio de 1981 por el entonces presidente de la República, don José López Portillo. El río de Cuale es una arteria de agua a cielo abierto que atraviesa por el centro de la ciudad. Nace en la Sierra de Cuale, población minera que dista de Puerto Vallarta aproximadamente 80 kilómetros. Cuale, población serrana, fue un centro minero importante durante el siglo XIX y antes. Fue fundamental para la fundación en 1851 del puerto Las Peñas, primer nombre de Puerto Vallarta. Por sus riberas corría un sendero de herrería que dio vida a la ruta de la sal y de la plata durante la segunda mitad del siglo XIX. Next, we will cross the Solidaridad or Solidarity Bridge, which is above the Cuale River. This bridge was inaugurated on July 10 of 1981 by José López Portillo, the president in that time. The Cuale River is a big water flow that crosses through the downtown area. It is born in the Cuales mountain range, a mining town above 80 kilometers from Puerto Vallarta. Cuale was an important mining center before and during the 19th century. This town was built from the foundation of Las Peñas port, which became Puerto Vallarta's first name. It became a military road of salt and silver during the second half of the 19th century. Here ends the downtown of the city and starts the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood, which began its construction on 1940. Estamos circulando por la calle Ignacio Luis Vallarta, que honra el nombre del ilustre jurisconsulto jalisciense, liberal del siglo XIX que participó en las guerras de reforma como coronel de batallón Hidalgo en 1861. Fue ministro de Gobernación en el gobierno de Benito Juárez. Fue gobernador del estado de Jalisco de 1871 a 1875. Senador del Congreso de la Unión en 1875. Fue ministro de Relaciones Exteriores y presidente de la Suprema Corte de Justicia durante el gobierno de Porfirio Díaz. We are on Ignacio Luis Vallarta Street. This street honors the name of one of Jalisco's top eminent lawyers. He was a 19th century white-collar individual who was a colonel in 1961 during the Reform War. He was a minister during Benito Juárez presidential period. He also became Jalisco's governor from 1871 to 1975 and a Union Congress senator in 1975. Finally, he was appointed as a foreign minister and as the Supreme Court of Justice president during part of Porfirio Díaz's presidency. Estamos sobre la calle Basilio Vadillo, nombre de un revolucionario, escritor, periodista y político mexicano que fuera gobernador del estado de Jalisco de 1921 a 1922. Actualmente esta calle es moderna e interesante. Puede encontrar restaurantes, bares y tiendas locales. This is Basilio Vadillo Street. A Mexican revolutionary, writer, journalist, and politician gives a name to this street. He was the Jalisco's state governor from 1921 to 1922. Currently, it is possible to find restaurants, bars, and local shops on this trendy street. Iniciamos recorrido sobre la carretera Puerto Vallarta a Barra de Navidad. Esta carretera fue inaugurada en la primera mitad del año 1971. Fue una de las obras torales del gobernador Francisco Medina Ascencio. Con ella y desde entonces, Puerto Vallarta se pudo comunicar hacia el sur con el puerto de Manzanillo, Colima. Vallarta to Barra de Navidad. This road was inaugurated in the first half of 1971. It was one of the most important achievements during Francisco Medina Ascencio's period as governor. With this highway, Puerto Vallarta has been able to connect and communicate to the south of the state, for example, with the Manzanillo port in Colima. Iniciamos también la llamada Zona Hotelera Sur, que incluye hoteles, zonas residenciales, edificios de apartamentos y cotos privados. The South Hotel area includes hotels, residential zones, apartments, and private residential areas. El complejo residencial Conchas Chinas inició su construcción durante los primeros años de la década de los 60 del siglo pasado, cuando millonarios visitantes y nacionales quisieron disfrutar de la vista inmejorable de la bahía, desde estos mágicos rincones de Puerto Vallarta. The Conchas Chinas residential area began its construction around the 70s, when locals and foreign millionaires wanted to enjoy the best views of the entire bay from these magic spots of Puerto Vallarta. Parada, Conchas Chinas. A su derecha encontrará el restaurante. Frente a usted se encuentra el Hotel Hyatt Ziva. Este hotel fue inaugurado en el año 1969 con el nombre Camino Real Puerto Vallarta. Fue el primer hotel de cadena establecido aquí. El Hotel Camino Real, desde sus inicios, estableció un compromiso cultural con la sociedad vallartense. El primer jueves de cada mes ofrecía eventos artísticos y culturales de manera gratuita para la población local. Con el tiempo, fue cambiando de dueños y nombre, olvidándose esa tradición cultural. Actualmente ostenta el nombre de Hyatt Ziva.
Yep.
In front of you, it is the
Private.
Hyatt Ziva Hotel. This building was inaugurated in 1969 under the name of Camino Real Puerto Vallarta. It was the first hotel chain established here. From its inception, the Camino Real Hotel made a cultural commitment to the society. The first Thursday of every month, free artistic and cultural events to the locals were offered. Years later, as its name and owner changed, that cultural tradition was forgotten. Now it's named Hyatt Ziva.
You're in the video, check. You're in the video. I'm good at pointing back, you know. Yep. This reminds me of Amalfi Coast, Bay of Naples, Bay of Naples, going into Sorrento. Hilton.
Ahora puede apreciar a su derecha la playa Punta Negra, playa tradicional de los pescadores locales, para pesca con cuerda, para enganchar pulpos, langostas y recolectar ostiones. Now you can see to your right the Punta Negra, or Black Pond Beach, a traditional beach for local fishermen. They fish with a rope to catch octopus, locusts, and oysters. Estamos llegando a Playa Palmares, una de las playas más agradables de Puerto Vallarta, recomendada ampliamente como un balneario hermoso y seguro. Cuenta con sanitarios y otros servicios. Desde aquí se puede disfrutar del paisaje de la selva. Es posible admirar todavía la palma de aceite de coco, otrora especie vegetal muy abundante en la región e importante recurso de la economía de estos lares desde el siglo antepasado. Esta playa Cuenta con la distinción de bandera azul, la cual se otorga después de revisiones estrictas por un panel de ambientalistas internacionales y se confirma la calidad, la gestión ambiental, la seguridad y servicios de la playa. We are arriving to Palmares Beach, one of the nicest beaches of Puerto Vallarta. It is highly recommended as a beautiful and safe resort. It has restrooms alongside other services. You can enjoy a great view of the jungle from here. It is possible to admire the coconut oil palm, which is a really abundant vegetable species in the region and an important economic resource for the town since the 18th century. This beach has the Bandera Azul blue flag distinction, which is received only after several and strict reviews from the international environmentalists who confirm the exceptional quality of the beach, its good environmental management, and its safety and beach services. Frente a usted se encuentra el Hotel Garza Blanca, uno de los hoteles más hermosos de Puerto Vallarta. Llegó a este lugar durante la década de los 70 del siglo pasado. Con el tiempo ha modificado su esencia y su rostro. Hoy es importante recinto del sistema turístico llamado Tiempo Compartido. In front of you, it is the Garza Blanca, one of the most beautiful hotels of Puerto Vallarta. It came to town during the 70s. With time, it has modified its essence and image. Today, it's an important place of the touristic system called timeshare.
Ah, that's where she wanted us to go. There. Timeshare. Timeshare, hard sell, scam. Yeah, she offered us a free taxi tour and $2,000 off a cruise or somewhere if we went there. We declined her kind offer. I wonder why.
Ahora estamos llegando a Playas Gemelas, un hermoso lugar que debe su nombre a las dos playitas que le adornan. We are now arriving to Playas Gemelas, Twin Beach, a beautiful place named after two little shores that embellish the site.
Island?
Parada, Playas Gemelas.
Speed bumps. Ooh. Ah, speed bumps, speed bumps. Yellows. Oh. Just got a leaf in my eye. Jeanette, waking up.
A su derecha podrá observar los famosos arcos de Mismaloya. Estas peñas perforadas que parecen emerger del mar son el origen del primer nombre de Puerto Vallarta, Las Peñas. El puerto de Las Peñas fue fundado por don Guadalupe Sánchez y otras familias en el año de 1851, merced a la necesidad que tuvieron los pueblos mineros serranos de tener un puerto en la bahía de Banderas para hacerse llegar la sal indispensable para el beneficio de la plata, así como herramientas, maquinaria, abarrotes y otros tantos satisfactores para la población minera. To your right, you can see the famous Mismaloya's Arc. Those perforated rocks resemble as if they were emerging from the sea. These rocks are the reason for Puerto Vallarta's first name, Las Peñas. Las Peñas Port was founded in 1851 by Guadalupe Sánchez and other families. The main reason for this was because the miners' town around needed a port in Bahía de Banderas in order to bring salt, a key element for the extraction of silver and many tools, machinery, products, and other important commodities for the miners and their families. Also, there was evidence of illegal extraction of precious metals in this place to be shipped to the south or north of the country. Thus a distribution circuit that ranged from the coast to mountain range to coast was established, which easily could be called the Salt and Silver Route.
Those two islands are famous, and there is a wee arch on the very first island, which is the right hand one. Lots of birds sitting over there, I can see.
Hemos llegado a la antigua población de Mismaloya, que alberga en su territorio al Hotel La Joya de Mismaloya desde la década de los 80 del siglo pasado. Mismaloya, en su nombre, nos revela su pasado prehispánico. Es un vocablo náhuatl cuyo significado es los que tienen el pescado. We have arrived to Mismaloya's old town, which houses the Hotel La Joya de Mismaloya since the 1980s. The name Mismaloya is a direct reference to its pre-Hispanic past. It is a Nahuatl word that means los que tienen el pescado, those who have fish. Parada, Mismaloya, terminal.
This is the stop to Mismaloya. If you want to stay time, the next bus will pass in 1 hour.
Ask him.
Tequila, this is the last stop. From here we're gonna turn around. If you want to spend time here at Mismaloya, the next bus will pass in 1 hour. I don't think that you're gonna go back. Do you want tequila?
No, thank you. How long does this bus stop for? How is it just
Okay,
going?
we're gonna turn around.
Okay. It's the Barcelo Hells Angels. Get one of the rocks, Jeanette.
So, like you can see, there's more books. Total there are 4 big ones, and there are two small ones. There are a little playground. Sorry, sir.
Oh, you're okay.
Esta región siempre ha llamado la atención de los arqueólogos. En 1939, la doctora estadounidense Isabel Kelly realizó estudios aquí. A principios de la década de los 60 del siglo pasado, estudiantes y maestros de la Universidad de Los Ángeles, California, hicieron lo propio. A mediados de la década de los 80, invitado por algunos vallartenses, vino el arqueólogo norteamericano y doctor en antropología Joseph B. Munjoy, y tras 9 años de estudios y excavaciones, descubrió más de un centenar de sitios arqueológicos. Encontró, además, de que la región había vestigios de por lo menos
Look, there's
6
an
etapas
arch.
culturales, entre ellas la cultura aztlán, manifiesta a lo largo del litoral del Pacífico mexicano desde Sinaloa hasta Jalisco. This region has received a lot of attention from archaeologists. In 1939, American Dr. Isabel Kelly conducted studies in this place. In the early 70s, professors and students from Los Angeles University from California also came here to study the region. In the mid-80s, the American archaeologist and anthropologist Dr. Joseph B. Montoy was invited by locals to
Pelicans
study
up
the
the
area.
trees.
After 9 years of
There's pelicans up the
excavation and
trees.
study, more than 100 archaeological sites were found.
Yep, a
by
squad of
Dr.
them.
Montoy. Furthermore, he discovered traces of at least 6 cultural phases in the
Yes. Ah! Bastard. Got me right in the napper. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Got the DJI Mic 2 on. Very windy up here, so let's see how it copes wind. Fucking hell.
Parada, Playas Gemelas.
Yay! White Gaza. Casablanca. Woo! Duck. Oh, you need to watch your head in this dirt, for sure. There's nice views back to the city. Woo!
Otro arqueólogo, el mexicano José Carlos Beltrán Medina, quien realizara estudios en el lado Nayarita del Valle de Banderas, en las inmediaciones de Punta Mita, encontró vestigios de hornos para fundir metales, así como objetos de cobre como cascabelitos, agujas y otros. También encontró anclas de piedra para buceo profundo. Entre las conclusiones a las que llegó fueron que los habitantes prehispánicos de estas tierras aprovecharon en varios sentidos los recursos marinos, practicaron el buceo profundo y tuvieron relaciones comerciales con pueblos del Centro y Sudamérica, sobre todo con los pueblos de la región andina.
They were on that boat tour with us all day.
Beltrán Medina studied the Valle de Banderas on Nayarit side. Around Punta de Mita, he found traces of melting ovens and caper objects like small bells. He also found deep diving and cores for deep diving. The conclusions he came up with was that the pre-Hispanic people from these places used the sea resources wisely. They practiced deep diving and had many trade relations with the Central and South America, especially with towns from the Aegean region.
Jesus, that was close. Don't want my gimbal getting gimbaled, if you know what I mean. Jelly bean. Jeanette spotted surfers. Look at the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Woo! Well, there was a toilet there. Did you see the toilet there? Yeah, there was. Here's the Hilton. It's very difficult, very, very difficult. Get a nice sand at the Hilton. Sorry, Jeanette. Gimbal. Look at the house up on the hill. Who lives in a house like that? Right up the top of the hill. Try and zoom in on it with the ×2 zoom. That's not digital zoom, that's pucka zoom. Yeah, it's big. Ooh, Hilton in the hill. Hilton in the hill. Got a lovely bloom. It's a nest. We'll keep it in ×2 for a while yet, because we've got the city ahead of us. Costa Sur, a resort and spa. Right, we got a ×2 zoom on me and Jeanette now. Oh, big ugly mush. That's me, no Jeanette. There's Jeanette there. ×2 is too much for that. Back to the ×1 zoom. Jesus. I said Jesus. Leaves falling on us. Branches whacking us. Wires gonna garrot us.
Parada. Los pobladores que encontraron los españoles en 1525 en esta región pertenecían a la cultura banderas, derivada del Aztatlán o fuertemente influida por ella. Esta cultura proliferó en extensión geográfica y población. Sustentó gran parte de su economía en la agricultura. Los habitantes locales, numerosos, según nos cuenta el cronista español Fray Antonio Tello, estaban distribuidos en diversos pueblos. Sembraban maíz, frijol, calabaza, chile y hortalizas. También cultivaban cacao, que utilizaban para preparar bebidas placenteras y como moneda de cambio. El tabaco, además de fumarlo, lo utilizaban como medicina en diversas dolencias y enfermedades. Cultivaban también el algodón, del que se proveían de hilos y tejidos para la ropa, redes, cuerdas, armaduras, banderillas para la guerra, etc. Otras actividades económicas eran las relacionadas al mar, la pesca, cosecha de perlas y obtención de sal, productos que comerciaban con los pueblos aledaños de la sierra. Practicaban también la cacería y la recolección, aprovechando las múltiples especies animales y vegetales que el medio les ofrecía. The people found by the Spanish conquistadors in 1525 in this region were part of the banderas culture. Derived from Aztlán or very heavily influenced by it, this culture proliferated in its geographic extension and population. Big part of their economy was based on
bad smell.
The locals were numerous and were distributed in several towns, as told by the Spanish chronicler Fray Antonio Tello. They cultivated corn, beans, pumpkins, pepper, and vegetables. They also grew cacao, which they used to prepare drinks and would use as trade coin. Furthermore, tobacco was used as medicine in many illness and disease besides smoking it. In addition to all of what has been mentioned so far, they cultivated cotton.
Look, the dolphin thing. Dolphin and a mermaid down there. Again, really windy here. I wonder how the DJI Mic 2 is going to stack up with this rather hefty wind. Pull up there. Ah! You must have heard that. Big leaf hit me right in the horn. Right in the horn. Here comes the hop on, hop off dude again.
So guys, I know that right now the turning was a little bit difficult with all the branches.
Yes, okay.
We need to know where we need to cut those kind of branches.
Yeah.
In our way back, we don't gonna stop only in the case if someone want to hop on or hop off.
Los cronistas españoles del siglo XVII se dan cuenta de que de aquella nutrida población que encontraron los conquistadores en el Valle de Banderas 100 años después, sobrevivían tan solo algunas decenas. Que tal disminución se debía a las enfermedades traídas por los europeos y contra las cuales los naturales no tenían defensas, a los trabajos exhaustivos a los que eran sometidos, tanto en los campos como en las minas, así como también a que muchos huían hacia la sierra para evitar el servilismo a los españoles.
Don't stop and that's good.
Century, Spanish chroniclers
Just all the way back to the port.
the well-developed and
Look at the flag.
that the conquerors made in Valle de Banderas,
Rainbow.
only a few things remain after 100 years. The incredibly drastic and tragic declining population could have been provoked due to numerous reasons. For example, the diseases brought by the European, for which the natives didn't have immunity or medicine to fight the illnesses, or it could also be due to the excessive work in the fields and mines, or very possibly because many of them ran away to the jungle to avoid the slavery.
Welcome to the jungle. There's where you don't want to end up. There's where you don't want to end up, trust me. The hospital. Put the bars on it so you don't get out. Much rather be in the hotel than the hospital.
Estamos de regreso en la colonia Emiliano Zapata. Esta franja de terreno que se encuentra en la margen sur del río Cuale. Durante la primera mitad del siglo XX, esto eran campos de cultivo y huertas de frutales y hortalizas. En 1940, con el crecimiento
No. I know. It's a hawk. Angry birds. Ah! Got me right in the coupon. Well, that one got me right in the coupon. As long as we don't get garroted.
a la izquierda tenemos el mercado del río Cuale. En este podemos encontrar hermosas artesanías y sabrosos platillos de la comida mexicana. Fue construido desde la década de los 60 del siglo pasado. En 1970 se modernizó para tener el rostro que hoy presenta. If we turn to the left, we can have the Cuale River Market. Here we can find many beautiful handicrafts and delicious food from the Mexican cuisine. It was built
Jack
around the
Nicholson.
60s and was upgraded in 1970 to give it a more modern look, which still stands today.
Right, Jack. Jack out of Shining. Do you know what this reminds me? Bangkok. Remember there were wires everywhere in Bangkok? Aye, we have. Yes, we have. Bangkok. Bangkok, Thailand. It's the capital of Thailand, Jeanette. We stayed at Labua. Do you know, remember all these wires in the streets? Yeah, but... Yeah, I know.
La Virgen de Guadalupe es la santa patrona de Puerto Vallarta. Es notable la devoción que se le profesa en la ciudad y pueblos aledaños. Cada año se celebran las fiestas en su honor desde el día 1 al 12 de diciembre. Durante su decenario se realizan peregrinaciones continuas desde muy temprano hasta altas horas de la noche. En el año de 1895 se colocó la primera piedra
Burger
del templo,
King.
levantándose una pequeña capilla.
Burger King.
En 1916 empezó a construirse el actual templo. En 1921 se erigió en parroquia. The Virgin of Guadalupe is Puerto Vallarta's patron saint. It is remarkable the deep devotion that is here in the city and the nearby towns for Our Lady of Guadalupe. Every year, from December 1st until the 12th, there are parties in her honor. During those days, the people pilgrimage continuously from dawn to night. In 1895, the temple's first stone was set, which slowly became a small chapel. The construction of the actual temple began in 1960. In 1921, the temple was decided to become a parish. During the 20th century, the construction slowly progressed. It was eventually finished in 1965, year when its beautiful crown was placed on the tower.
Hey.
calle Colombia. Si usted continúa sobre esta misma, encontrará a su derecha las instalaciones de la Comisión Federal de Electricidad y a su izquierda la Escuela Primaria 15 de Mayo. El servicio de alumbrado eléctrico llegó a Vallarta a principios de la década de los 30 del siglo pasado, funcionando solo unas horas al día. En 1958, durante el sexenio del gobernador Agustín Yáñez, se instaló una planta termoeléctrica en este predio, que generó energía eléctrica para la cabecera municipal y algunos pueblos aledaños durante las 24 horas del día. En 1970, en su visita a la ciudad, el entonces presidente de la República, Gustavo Díaz Ordaz, inauguró la conexión de esta región al sistema eléctrico de Occidente, que proporcionaría con suficiencia el fluido eléctrico necesario para el despegue de la industria turística.
Yeah. English, please.
Currently in Columbia Street. If you continue on this same street, you will find on your right the facilities of Mexican Electricity Company, and to your left, the elementary school 15 de Mayo stands tall. The electric light system arrived to Vallarta early 1930s, and it worked, but only for a handful of hours each day. It was in 1958, while Agustín Yáñez was a governor, a thermoelectrical plant was installed, which generated 24 hours electricity to the town hall and nearby towns. In 1970, the President of Mexico, Gustavo Díaz Ordaz, inaugurated the region's connectivity to the Western electric system, which will provide just enough electricity to boost the touristic industry in the region.
What? Who was moving? Right, I never seen her. Jesus.
Parada, Teatro Vallarta.
Local bus. Looks as though that guy had been nabbed by the cops. Whoa! Fucking thing hit me in the hand. Don't know what it was.
Flores Contreras, rico comerciante vallartense, benefactor del deporte y la educación regional y constructor de escuelas. Además, la unidad cuenta con un área especial designada para perros. At our right, we can contemplate the Agustin Flores Contreras Sport Unit. It is enduring and important sport space for Vallarta.
Share it again.
It was built starting from the 1950s, in its name after one of the most distinguished individuals from the town, which was Mr. Agustin Flores Contreras. He was a wealthy merchant, a sport and regional education enthusiast, and a builder of elementary schools. Plus, this sport unit currently has a special pet-friendly area. Circulamos ahora sobre la avenida Francisco Medina Ascencio. Puerto Vallarta cuenta en su haber con un poco más de siglo y medio de existencia. Fundada en 1851, es una comunidad relativamente joven.
40 kilometers an hour. Speed limit. Jeez, that's not.
Como Tampa, San Sebastián del Oeste o Mascota, Jalisco, con 4 o hasta casi 5 siglos de existencia. La historia de las peñas Puerto Vallarta podemos dividirla en
There's a
3
Costas
etapas.
Club.
La primera desde su fundación con el
Costas
nombre de
Club.
las peñas a mediados del siglo XIX hasta el inicio del movimiento armado de la Revolución Mexicana. Durante esta primera etapa, merced al tránsito de satisfactores que desde la costa a los pueblos mineros de la sierra se daba, se fue estableciendo aquí gran actividad comercial. Este lugar de embarque y desembarque de mercancías y productos agropecuarios se fue convirtiendo en núcleo del comercio regional. La economía giró entonces alrededor del comercio y la existencia de grandes recursos naturales, maderas preciosas y tintorias en la selva, así como de coquito de aceite y látex, tiburones, ballenas, perlas, lagartos y peces en el mar y los esteros. Fue la época de la ruta de la sal y de la plata. Desde la costa subían en lomos de recua a los pueblos mineros de la sierra la sal, herramientas, maquinaria, abarrotes, objetos, santuarios y otros. De la sierra bajaban a los embarcaderos clandestinos de la Bahía de Bandera las remesas de contrabando de metales preciosos. We are circulating at the moment through Francisco Medina Ascencio Avenue. It is important to state that Puerto Vallarta has a little more than a century and a half of existence. Founded in 1951, it has a relatively young community when compared to other nearby towns, such as Compostela and Tepic from Nayarit, or like Talpa, San Sebastián del Oeste, or Mascota, all from Jalisco. All of the
Compostela.
before mentioned towns have around 4 or 5 centuries of existence already. The history of Las Peñas, Puerto Vallarta can be divided in 3 stages. The first one ranged from its foundation under the name of Las Peñas in 1851 until the beginning of the armed movement of the Mexican Revolution. During the first stage, and thanks to the continuous shipments and materials from the coast to the mountain range to the mining towns and vice versa, great commercial activity was established since the beginning of the town. This place became the center of regional commerce due to its loading and unloading of merchandise and products. The economy then turned towards commerce and greatly benefited of the regions they are in with its vast natural resources that were available, such as precious types of wood, dye plants, coconut oil, latex, sharks, whales, pearls, lizards, fishes, and seafood in general. It was the era of the salt and silver route. The mining towns will benefit greatly from the shipments sent from the coast while using mules. The shipments include salt, tools, machinery, supplies, and holy objects, among many other things. From the mountain range, they will treat precious metals from these commodities coming from the coast.
Megan Dental.
Parada, Las Glorias.
See that, Megan? Megan Dental, yeah. Megan Dental.
What's special about that? You have that in Scotland? Yes? Oh, okay. Okay, I thought maybe it could have been like a brand from the, yeah.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. What? Where? Oh yeah, yeah. Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut. McDonald's. Stuff that we've got a buffet and a restaurant. Cool. Cool dude. Look at the lovely yellow flowers, Jeanette.
Encontramos de nuevo ahora a la izquierda la plaza comercial La Isla. Desde aquí podemos apreciar este gran espacio para grandes eventos de diversión para el pueblo de Vallarta. Y a nuestra derecha encontraremos la zona residencial Fluvial Vallarta, uno de los complejos habitacionales más exclusivos de Puerto Vallarta. Here we can see again, now on our left, the shopping mall La Isla. From here it is possible to appreciate its big area for events. And to our right, we can observe the Fluvial Vallarta, one of the most exclusive residential areas in all Puerto Vallarta. Parada, Fluvial.
We're at the end of the line. No, there's not. There's the ships. Sorry, I had to salvage the camera there. Yeah. Three ships. We've got our one, which is the Discovery Princess. There's the Coral Princess. And there is the Holland America Eurodam. Three. So that's the Eurodam there. Holland America, that's huge. The Coral Princess, she's a bit older. And ours is, of course, Discovery Princess. We were the first in port. Back to where it all began. Woo! get a tip out, Jeanette.
I've not been last minute.
Right. Oh well, they're getting fuck all then.